Charles Stuart, King of England. The Commons of England, assembled in Parliament, have resolved to make inquisition for blood, and for that purpose have constituted this High Court of Justice, before which you are brought. My lord, I am commanded to charge Charles Stuart, King of England, in the name of the Commons of England. A charge of high treason exhibited to the High Court of Justice by John Cooke, Solicitor General, for and on behalf of the people of England, against Charles Stuart, King of England. That he, the said Charles Stuart, being trusted with a limited power to govern according to the laws of the land for the good and benefit of the people, nevertheless, out of wicked design to uphold in himself an unlimited and tyrannical power, hath traitorously levied war against the Parliament and the people, against the public interest, common right, liberty, justice, and peace of the people of this nation. By which it appeareth that he, the said Charles Stuart, hath been the author of the unnatural, cruel, and bloody wars, and therein guilty of all the treasons, murders, rapines, burnings, and mischiefs to this nature committed in the said wars. And the said John Cooke doth, on behalf of the people of England, impeach the said Charles Stuart as a tyrant, traitor, murderer, and a public enemy to the Commonwealth of England, and pray that the said Charles Stuart, King of England, may be put to answer all and every the premises. Sir, you have now heard your charge read. In the close of it, it is prayed that you answer to your charge. The court expects your answer. I would know by what power I am called hither, by what authority. Remember, I am your king, your lawful king. Therefore, let me know by what lawful authority I am seated here, and I shall not be unwilling to answer. If you had observed what was hinted to you by the court, you would have known by what authority. Which authority requires you, in the name of the people of England, of which you are elected king, to answer them. No, sir, I deny that. If you acknowledge not the authority of the court, they must proceed. I do tell them so. England was never an elective kingdom, but an hereditary kingdom for near these 1,000 years. I do stand more for the liberty of my people than any that come here to be my pretended judges. Therefore, let me know by what authority I am called hither, and I will answer it. Otherwise, I will not answer it. Seeing you will not answer, the court will consider how to proceed. In the meantime, the court desires to know whether this be all the answer you will give or no. I am sworn to keep the peace by that duty I owe to God and my country, and I will do it to the last breath of my body. And therefore, you shall do well to satisfy first God and then the country by what authority you do it. If you do it by an usurped authority, you cannot answer. The court expect you should give them a final answer. We are satisfied with our authority, and it is upon God's authority and the kingdom's. And that peace you speak of will be kept in the doing of justice, and that is our present work. I do require that I may give in my reasons why I do not answer. Sir, 'tis not for prisoners to require. Prisoners? Sir, I am not an ordinary prisoner. Sir, if you answer to your charge, you shall be heard at large. Make the best defence you can. But you are not to be permitted to issue out into any other discourses till such time as you have given a positive answer concerning the matter that is charged upon you. For the charge I value it not a rush. For me to acknowledge a new court that I never heard of before, I that am your king, indeed I do not know how to do it. If you will give me time, I will show you my reasons why I cannot do it, and
By your favour, sir.
By your favour, You ought not to interrupt me. There is no law for it, to make your king your prisoner, and therefore, sir, you must know the pleasure of the court. By your favour, sir. Nay, sir, by your favour. You may not be permitted to fall into those discourses. You appear as a delinquent. You have not acknowledged the authority of the court. The court craves it not of you, but once more they command you to give your positive answer. Sir, I say again to you, I would do it, but to acknowledge a new court to alter the fundamental laws of the kingdom, sir, you must excuse me. Sir, this is the third time that you have publicly disowned this court. How far you have preserved the privileges of the people, your actions have spoke it. You have written your meaning in bloody characters throughout the whole kingdom. But, sir, if you have anything to say concerning yourself in the matter charged, the court will hear you. Since that I see that you will not hear anything of debate, I shall speak nothing to it, but only I must tell you that if I had respect to my life more than the peace of the kingdom, certainly I should have made a particular defence for myself. Now, sir, I desire before sentence be given, that I may be heard in the painted chamber before the Lords and Commons. If I cannot get this liberty, I do here protest that so fair shows of liberty and peace are pure shows, since you will not hear your king. This is a further declining of the jurisdiction of this court. The court are ready to give a sentence. It is not, as you say, that they will not hear their king, for they have been ready to hear you. They have patiently waited to hear what you would say to the people's charge against you, to which you have not vouchsafed to give any answer at all. This court is founded upon that authority of the Commons of England, in whom rests the supreme jurisdiction. That which you now tender is to have another jurisdiction. Sir, I think it would have been for the kingdom's peace if you would have shown the lawfulness of your power. A little delay may give peace, whereas an hasty judgment may bring on that trouble that the child that is unborn may repent it. And therefore, again, I do desire that I may be heard by the Lords and Commons in the painted chamber, or any other chamber that you will appoint me. Sir, you have been already answered, and the court now requires to know whether you have any more to say. Sir, I have nothing more to say. The court then, sir, have something else to say to you, which is a question much on your side pressed. By what precedent we shall proceed. Truly, sir, almost of all nations the people have made bold to call their kings to account. I will not spend time to mention other countries, for the state did it here in England. King Edward II, King Richard II were dealt with so by the Parliament as they were deposed and deprived. And truly, sir, whoever shall look into their stories, they shall not find the articles that are charged upon them to come near to that height and capitalness of crimes that are laid to your charge. Nothing near. I do not come here as submitting to the court. Let me see a legal authority warranted by the word of God, or warranted by the constitutions of the kingdom, and I will answer. Sir, you have held yourself as if you had been no ways subject to the law, or that the law had not been your superior. Sir, for you to set yourself with your single judgment against the highest court of justice, that is not law. Sir, as the law is your superior, so truly there is something superior to the law, and that is the people of England. For, sir, as they did choose the form of government, so they gave laws to their governors according to which they should govern. Thus, the end of having kings or any other governors is for the enjoying of justice. Now, sir, if so be the king or any other governor will go contrary to the end of his government, they are to take order for the punishment of such an offending governor. This is not law of yesterday, sir, but law of old. Parliaments were they that were to adjudge the wrongs done of the king. Sir, that road we are now upon is to try and judge you for these great offences of yours. The charge hath called you tyrant, a traitor, murderer, and a public enemy to the Commonwealth of England. Sir, it had been well if that any or all these terms might rightly have been spared, if any one of them at all. Ha! It is not my case alone. It is the freedom and liberty of the people of England, and I stand for their liberties. For if power without law may make laws, may alter the fundamental laws of the kingdom, I do not know what subject he is in England that can be sure of his life, or anything that he calls his own. Sir, there is a bargain made between the king and his people, for as you are the liege lord, so they the liege subjects. The one bond is the bond of protection that is due from the sovereign, the other is the bond of subjection that is due from the subject. Sir, if this bond be once broken, farewell sovereignty. Whether you have been a protector of England, or the destroyer of England, let all England judge, or all the world that hath looked upon it. The court hath heard you, and you are to be disposed of as they have commanded. I desire a word to be heard a little. Make an yes, and command silence while the sentence is read. Well, sir, shall I be heard before the judgment be given?
Oh, yes! Silence in court!
I would desire only one word before you give sentence.
Hold, sir.
Whereas the Commons of England assembled in Parliament have constituted us as a High Court of Justice for the trying and judging of Charles Stuart, wherein he was charged that he hath traitorously levied war against the Parliament and people, and that he hath thereby caused and procured many thousands of the free people of this nation to be slain. Now, therefore, upon consideration of the matters charged upon him, this court is satisfied that he, the said Charles Stuart, is guilty of levying war against Parliament and people, and that he hath been the author of the unnatural, cruel, and bloody wars, and therein guilty of high treason, and of the murders, rapines, burnings, and mischief to this nation committed in the said war. For all which treasons and crimes, this court doth adjudge that he, the said Charles Stuart, as a tyrant, traitor, murderer, and public enemy to the good people of this nation, shall be put to death by the severing of his head from his body. This sentence now read and published, it is the act, sentence, judgment, and resolution of the whole court. Will you hear me a word, sir?
Sir, you are not to be heard after the sentence.
No, sir?
No, sir, by your favour. Guards, withdraw your prisoner.
I may speak after the sentence, by your favour, sir. I may speak after the sentence, ever by your favour.
Hold.
The sentence, sir. I say, sir, I do.
Hold.
I am not suffered to speak. Expect what justice other people will have.